It's something you've never heard before. A Nobel Prize-worthy revelation that we're making public now for the very first time. A breakthrough that guarantees you'll never lose an erection again because it works in 3 powerful and transformative ways. It targets the smooth muscles of the penis safely and immediately, making them more capable than ever before. It floods your body with nitric oxide, turning you into a virile, insatiable king of the jungle in the bedroom each and every time. It supercharges blood flow in the penis, expanding it to its maximum size for an erection that lasts 30 minutes or more, guaranteed. Celebrities across the globe swear by this secret, and while controversial, this is not a fad. It's a time-tested technique that shocks your flimsy dick back to life almost immediately. It has been extensively studied at institutions such as Stanford and the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and trials have shown that the more you use this innovative technique, the stronger, thicker, and longer-lasting your erections become. Many doctors say that erectile dysfunction is a natural part of the aging process. What a bunch of blatant lies! Hi, I'm John Hartley, and I completed my PhD at Stanford before being called to be part of the all-star team at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. As a molecular biologist, I've made important discoveries in my own tiny lab at the Mayo Clinic, and I created this video to cut through the bull. 98% of what we hear about ED is just that, utter nonsense. Please pay attention because my video may shock you, even enrage you, but it will ultimately help you regain your life. Remember those glory days back in your 20s? That period when getting and keeping those powerful, firm erections wasn't just a breeze. It was your second nature, your reality. You could almost snap your fingers and boom, you were ready to go, and for as long as you wanted. But as you've aged, you may have noticed a decline in the strength and duration of your erections. Maybe you're no longer waking up with morning wood. Perhaps you sometimes go soft right in the middle of sex. Or maybe your cock won't get hard at all, even if you're in bed with the sexiest woman in the world, begging you to fuck her. Well, I feel you. I've been there. You, me, and more than 30 million American men that have been diagnosed with ED. But listen, you don't have to accept limp erections in your golden years. And you don't have to rely on strange, expensive, and dangerous prescriptions to get hard. Because a few years ago, me and my colleagues dove in, sniffed out the facts, and cracked the mystery of erectile dysfunction. After experiencing firsthand that nothing shatters your self-esteem more than ED, we rolled up our sleeves, worked day and night, and used the finest medical equipment to expose 3 shocking truths. Number 1, that the root cause of erectile dysfunction is a rogue cellular spark storm that damages your blood flow, arteries, and veins, leaving you incapable of having sex. Number 2, that ED drugs are not your best friend or secret weapon. In fact, they're a ticking time bomb that damages erectile function and digs you deeper and deeper into a hole of ever-increasing doses. And 3, we've discovered a safe, effective, and permanent Tibetan cure for erectile dysfunction based on a revelation that actually won a Nobel Prize. Renowned urologists at the Johns Hopkins Medical School were the first to unearth this long-lost process called anagenesis that's been dormant in men since the Stone Age, a unique regenerative ability that's now backed by cutting-edge science. This technique involving tissue regeneration, penis muscle strengthening, and boosting blood flow has been scientifically validated in over 300 peer-reviewed studies worldwide as the most potent protocol for ED. And 10 out of 10 men report strong, thick, long-lasting erections, practically on demand after just 14 days of using it at home.
Your method helped my husband become the man that I fell in love with. Thank you.
Guys, can you imagine being 60 but feeling like 20 again? That's precisely my experience. This technique works wonders.
In the next few moments, I'll guide you on how to get these amazing results. I will show you what steps you need to take to put an end to those daunting sexual health issues, just as I personally did in less than a month. And if you're wondering why you didn't hear about this groundbreaking research on the front page of your favorite newspaper, know that authorizing such discoveries can be a challenging process, requiring the green light from pharmaceutical companies, research institutes, and medical organizations. And the industry giants, who want you to rely on their temporary fixes, are stifling all research to keep you from becoming fully healthy. So while the medical community advised us to wait for over a year before unveiling this incredible treatment, with millions of men suffering silently from erectile dysfunction, we simply cannot afford to wait another second, because we've seen it work even in the most hopeless cases. Men who didn't have an erection in years now satisfy their partners night after night. So stay with me throughout this life-changing presentation. As we might not have much time, we need to spread the word swiftly to help as many people as we can. Scientists confirm that this miraculous method works incredibly well for everyone, whether you're 40 or 80, whether you've been dealing with erectile dysfunction for the past week or the past 4 decades, and whether you're on medication or not. This treatment works like crazy. And if you're skeptical, I totally get it. Unlike others who have never struggled with these issues themselves, or those who snicker behind your back, laughing about your struggles, I've been there. I understand the torment of constantly feeling less than your best, the relentless pursuit for solutions, and the sinking feeling of despair when you can't seem to find a way out. As a man who once battled with erectile dysfunction, I need you to know that you're not alone. And as a medical expert, I want you to know that it's not your fault. Despite my deep scientific knowledge, ED had a way of making me feel inadequate, forcing me to try things I had no medical reason to believe would work, like cold showers in the morning, electroshock therapy, red lights, and penis pumps, and with zero results. Not even traditional ED drugs helped me, regardless of their thousands of dangerous side effects. But don't worry, my discovery puts all the other so-called treatments to shame. From today on, you can confidently throw all of them away, because I promise you, you're about to rediscover a passionate life, where you feel like yourself again and enjoy the most amazing sex you've ever had, just like the 40,000 men who have already tried this method and, after the first 3 days of treatment, felt stronger and more powerful than ever before. Then they'd always wake up with morning wood, and after just a few more days, they experienced stronger erections than they had in their 20s, and partners who couldn't get enough of them. Now, I admit I'm not surprised by the thank you messages I receive every day from these supermen, because I personally tested this method before any of them. And not only did I power my penis like no other ED pill before, but it actually addressed the core problem that led to me having ED in the first place. So what you are about to hear will transform your life in ways you never thought possible. But before I share this erection-enhancing secret with you, I just wanted to introduce myself properly. So hi again, my name is John Hartley. I've been in the medical field for more than 25 years, and I've worked, studied, and researched at some of the biggest universities and clinics in the USA, such as Stanford, the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, or the Mayo Clinic, directing multi-million-dollar grant projects investigating age-related decline. So you can imagine how surprised I was when my own body started failing me in the most embarrassing way possible. Yeah, I'm talking about the day my dick stopped working. And guess what? I was only 46, and I was in peak physical condition, eating clean, working out, and staying lean. Then when I realized I could no longer satisfy my wife in bed, I was stunned. I immediately went to the best doctor in town. He just shrugged and said, "Welcome to your 40s. Then he scribbled out a prescription and sent me on my way. The following months became a blur of doctor appointments and various prescriptions for ED pills, which required taking them an hour before any sexual activity. So the spontaneous and enjoyable sex life we once had became a thing of the past, shelling out ridiculous amounts each month just to chase that fleeting feeling of being functional felt like a foolish endeavor. Sure, those tiny ED pills gave me a glimmer of hope at first, but the pesky side effects left me feeling more like a science experiment than a romance novel hero. The very first night I took the little blue pill, aside from an uncomfortable flush and blurry vision, the experience felt robotic. There was no excitement or passion, just a mechanical process, like fixing a broken machine. But worse than that, after a few weeks, the effectiveness of the pills started to diminish, and my erection started to disappear completely, leaving me feeling inadequate again. Then I turned to what was closest to hand, the testosterone supplements. So I used my medical background to search for some proven supplements for testosterone stimulation. And I bought horny goatweed, which supposedly increased blood flow and improved sexual function, red ginseng, which according to the American Academy of Family Physicians may improve erections considerably, and ashwagandha, which some studies suggest could help maintain a normal balance of hormones, including testosterone. I also started taking vitamin D, vitamin B3, and folic acid, which have all been shown to have mildly positive impacts in more studies on erectile function. Unfortunately, my body did not respond to any of these supplements, and I tried 4 other natural supplements on the market. I'm sure you've heard of them, but I'll refrain from saying more, as none of them made any difference. I then followed up with cold showers in the morning, electroshock therapy, and penis pumps. Results? 0. Just a lot of wasted time. That was the moment I decided to visit another doctor who said I should just increase the dosage of my prescription ED pills. What? No, thanks. In my medical experience, I've seen that those pills can make you go blind, deaf, or even have a stroke. These boner pills have killed thousands, and the real number could be much higher, all while their hotshot CEOs rake in billions in cold hard cash every single year. I wouldn't let myself be tricked by continuing with higher and higher dosages. So, in the end, I started running and exercising regularly. I hoped this would improve my blood flow and erectile performance. And I also wanted to look better for my wife, to compensate in some way for the lack of sexual activity. Despite my efforts, there was no noticeable improvement in the firmness of my erections, and I was tired all the time. It seemed that my ability to achieve a stiff erection was lost forever, marking the end of my sexual life. By now, my wife was running out of patience. She was understanding at first and encouraged me to see various doctors, promising that she'd be by my side all the while. Of course, we tried other ways of satisfying each other. She sat there as a saint while I painstakingly tried every pill, injection, and supplement out there. But I could feel her patience wearing thin. One night, after having dinner with a few drinks, where we both drank a couple of glasses of wine, she started whispering in my ear, "I want you inside me. I need you inside me." She even started fondling me under the table. Then she asked that we go back to our car, where she threw herself at me, unzipping my pants while moaning with pleasure. Unfortunately, all she got was a flaccid, unimpressive excuse of a dick. She must have sucked on it for 10 minutes straight, but nothing happened. She burst into tears saying, "I can't do this anymore. I need a real man." She told me she was sorry, but that this situation was too uncomfortable for her. She blamed herself, believing that I must not be attracted to her anymore. She had been waiting for me to regain my virility, but it just wasn't happening. And living the rest of her life without sex was unbearable for her. And I couldn't blame her. Ultimately, no self-respecting woman would ever settle with a so-called man who couldn't even get it up. So she decided to go on a break, and she asked me to let her know once I'd solved my problem. It was the most humiliating moment of my entire life. Not only did I not feel like a real man anymore, but I was in danger of losing my wife forever. And the only way to get her back was to show her that I could be the man she deserves, capable of satisfying her and fulfilling her every fantasy. And even if everything seemed lost, my mission wasn't completely hopeless. You see, I work as a medical researcher in an FDA-certified laboratory, and I'm damn good at my job. So I needed a real solution to stiffen up my slack schlong. Something without Big Pharma's dirty fingerprints all over it. The next day, I went to the University of Stanford, a place where I'd once studied, and which I knew had a gigantic library where you could read about any disease under the sun. I scoured through thousands of research papers, textbooks, and studies, trying to find anything that would help my manhood get stiff enough to please my wife. But 12 hours and 4 cups of coffee later, I'd found nothing. And exactly when I was about to throw in the towel and head home, I finally found it. The first real step in my mission to regain control of my sex life. It was a study conducted by the famous Dr. Albert Szent-Györgyi, a Nobel Prize-winning Hungarian scientist who had discovered flavonoids back in 1938. He won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1937 for his research on biological oxidation processes. In fact, what he did was isolate a compound he called citrin from lemon peels and track its effects on blood vessels. He noticed that blood flow increases once the human body comes in contact with this type of substance, massively improving erectile function as a result. The compound that Dr. Albert named citrin was later identified as a flavonoid. So Dr. Albert found that flavonoids have a special property of repairing and protecting cells, which is a key precursor for erections. I then started looking up flavonoids online that might aid in ED when I found a book by renowned endocrinologist Dr. Richard Davidson, who has carried out numerous studies on testosterone. And that's when I made the connection. Dr. Richard's book was called The Importance of Flavonoids in Combating Oxidative Stress. Initially, I didn't realize that this book was about ED, but after reading about Dr. Albert's discoveries, I knew I had to learn more about them. As it turns out, Professor Rich Davidson was an old college buddy of mine. We even had a flicker of a band, hoping it would get us laid on campus back then. So I called him up and asked for a meeting. I shared my findings with him, discussing the issues faced by men over 40, the waning performance, the sinking confidence, and the desperate need to get my wife back no matter the cost. Rich shared that he too was interested in understanding the root cause of health deterioration with age, especially sexual vitality. The potential of flavonoids intrigued him. Rich innovatively applied the techniques of penile Doppler ultrasonography, a groundbreaking technology initially used in vascular medicine, with the hopes of uncovering what happens to the blood cells in the penis once erectile dysfunction sets in. The results were surprising. The sonar examination of arterial tissues showed signs of inflammation and damage, not just linked to age or mechanical issues, but to a storm brewing at the cellular level of the arteries. Imagine a quiet night disrupted by a sudden storm of sparks, a cascade of destructive energy that engulfs everything in its path. This is precisely what happens within your penis at a cellular level. These sparks, or free radicals by their scientific name, set off a chain reaction that wreaks havoc on your vascular health. And this is the real cause of ED. But tell me more about free radicals, I asked. Free radicals are unstable molecules that cause damage to the endothelial cells located in the penile area, the same cells that are responsible for releasing nitric oxide. Think of them like sparks that catch fire and burn other cells and tissues. The body typically neutralizes these free radicals, but occasionally our body's natural defenses aren't enough to do that. As a result, oxidative stress occurs. Through oxidative stress, the endothelial cells in our blood vessels deteriorate, including those in the penis. When the endothelial cells get damaged, they no longer produce nitric oxide. And the presence of nitric oxide is what determines the relaxation of the smooth muscles that make up the arteries of the penis, thus allowing a large quantity of blood to flow into the erectile tissue. Without enough nitric oxide, the flow of blood to the penis is interrupted, making erections impossible. So in order to get an erection, your body needs to produce enough nitric oxide, which relaxes the smooth muscles of the penile arteries and allows the full flow of blood into the penis, thereby making it grow large and firm. To treat erectile dysfunction caused by free radicals, the body needs compounds called flavonoids that are strong enough to neutralize free radicals and protect cells from oxidative stress. Now you're probably asking yourself, what causes this free radical storm in the first place? Free radicals are generated as part of normal metabolic processes, but they can also be influenced by external factors such as exposure to pollution, electromagnetic fields, or UV radiation, all of which you cannot control. That's why ED happens. It has nothing to do with age or your physical condition, and it's not your fault. In conclusion, some specific flavonoids have strong antioxidant properties and are the keys to protecting your endothelial cells against free radicals and oxidative stress. This contributes to the increased production of nitric oxide, which is what leads to faster and firmer erections. The improved blood flow to your penis means you never have to worry about going limp ever again, regardless of your age. But since these things are already well known, why do we still have to deal with ED? I was confused. Rich told me that he often wondered about that too, and that he tried all sorts of flavonoid mixes himself, but to no effect. For a long time, he thought his studies must have been wrong, until he saw with his own eyes that there was one country in the world where the ED problem was never observed. And that country was Tibet. Then Rich told me that he started to have ED problems too when he was around 42 years old. That took a toll on his marriage. and he ended up getting divorced. As a result, he left America to go on a 2-week trip to Tibet and find himself. After 2 weeks in Tibet, he observed enhancements in his overall well-being and started to have morning wood again. "But what did you do over there?" I asked. He told me he had taken part in a special tea ceremony conducted by Tenzin, a disciple of Gesangkapa, the Tibetan Buddhist associated with the extreme virility of Tibetan Sherpas, even into their 90s. And he remembered how ancient Tibetan texts did talk about a solution for the true cause of blood flow problems, which is the lack of strong cellular protectors and boosters that can counter the wildfire damage of free radicals. And we suspected it was the flavonoids in those ancient herbal drinks that could counterbalance all the effects of free radical damage. But Tenzin refused to give Rich his recipe. I told him I wanted to go there too. Maybe together we could convince him to share his recipe or his special ingredients so we could help the millions of men all over the world who suffer the embarrassment of ED every day of their lives. It was a long shot, but I had already come this far, and I could feel my penis getting limper and more lifeless by the day. He said yes right away, and we met at the airport in 5 days. On the plane, Rich confessed that he had thought about returning to Tibet to find out what was in that tea many times, but things never worked out. So he was glad that we were going on this trip together. When we finally got there, after 20 hours of flying and another hour of driving through rocky terrain, we arrived high up on the frosty expanse of the majestic Mount Kailash in the Himalayas, a peak held sacred in several Eastern religions. And it did not take long until I found myself standing next to Tenzin, an 87-year-old Sherpa. His vigor was radiant, as bright as the morning sun that painted the snow-covered peaks golden. Every wrinkle on his face held a story. His eyes sparkled with wisdom, and his nimble hands spoke of years spent conquering the challenging terrains of the Himalayas. Rich told him that I needed help, so Tenzin nodded his head, letting us know that we could stay. There I found a small community of men and women who all followed Tenzin and his teachings. Right from the first night, I heard loud sex noises coming from Tenzin's room. Just after a young woman went in, I was surprised, but then I noticed something else. It had been more than half an hour since she entered the room, and the woman still let out screams and moans of sheer pleasure. I found it odd, to say the least, but apparently this kind of performance was common there. What in the world could make these guys so incredibly potent and virile? I asked myself. Intrigued by his vitality and aware of the high prevalence of erectile dysfunction among older men, I finally asked Tenzin about his secret. He gave me a knowing smile and led me to his home, a place that smelled of earth and herbs, and held the wisdom of centuries gone by. In the midst of dried herbs and preserved roots, he showed me an ancient manuscript. As he unrolled the parchment, he unveiled a treasure trove of knowledge passed down through generations. The manuscript detailed various plants and herbs used in Tibetan medicine, with a particular blend named Baoei Chenjiang powder catching the attention of Rich and myself. I knew that the blend had a reputation for treating coronary heart disease and angina pectoris in Chinese medicine, but Tenzin revealed the blend also worked to restore erectile function, a secret contributing to the Sherpa's undimmed vitality. Now, Tenzin didn't know about the cellular spark storm of free radical damage destroying the arteries, veins, and penis circulatory system of most men in the modern world. But he was right about the ancient Tibetan medicine rich in flavonoids. That's when Rich and I realized that all our research had in fact been correct. We just didn't have the right flavonoids. Moreover, it turned out that only the unpolluted soils of Tibet could allow all those herbs to grow with all their healing properties intact. Whereas in the US, we have to constantly deal with contaminated plants that are either lab-grown or grown with harmful pesticides, to the point where they lose all their health benefits. So I spent the next couple of days trying to get as close as possible to Tenzin. We actually became good friends, and I was happy to share my medical knowledge with him. I taught the community simple emergency procedures, but at the same time, I wanted to find out what was hidden behind the mysterious drink that kept Tibetan men virile and healthy throughout their lives. So the only option was to start regularly consuming Tenzin's tea. During all this time, Rich kept a record of all the plants, herbs, and roots that went into the tea's preparation. It's important to note that these men are also advised to consume these plants and herbs every day to prevent any male or prostate-related issues. This recipe, as the Tenzin confessed, had been in their families for centuries and was passed down from generation to generation. It's all due to the lands we live in and the plants we have here. The secret of our virility has been here for thousands of years. Was it truly possible? I asked myself skeptically. Can a sacred ritual and some herbs and plants really maintain your virility for life? Whatever the answer to that question was, I thought it was worth trying anything before my wife found someone else and I lost her for good. Especially since studies show that 80% of divorces are initiated by women as a result of them not being satisfied by their partners. So all I had to do there in Tibet was drink this strange cocktail and hope for a miracle. Tenzin used a special process that involved drying the herbs, boiling them, and adding their secret oil to the mix. They would take the end result, put it in a large pot, and bury it 2 feet underground for 48 hours. And only then would the cocktail be ready to use. As hard to believe as all this was to me, the results left me speechless. Already by the second day, I felt something strange happening inside of me. It was like I suddenly had more energy. I felt stronger and more powerful than before. Then there was something else which I noticed happening from the third day. I would always wake up with morning wood, something that had not happened to me in a long time. And then only a few days later, something truly incredible happened. One night, I was looking at a photo of my wife, dressed in lingerie. A slight bulge began to grow in the seam of my pants, just by looking at a photo. I rushed to the bathroom and waited several minutes for my erection to subside. And guess what? The second day, the same thing happened to me. It was a clear sign that something was beginning to change. And it wasn't just that. Other body parts of mine seemed to be growing. I was more pumped and more muscular even though I wasn't working out. I did notice that I actually lost a lot of the belly fat I had gained over the years. My hair was fuller, shinier, and I had more energy to jump out of bed in the morning. And I can't even begin to tell you how happy all this has made me. I wouldn't have expected this in a million years. So I could hardly wait to go home, recreate this solution with Rich, and reconnect with my wife to prove to her that I could be the man of her dreams after all. Once I got back, the first thing I did was invite my wife to dinner to demonstrate to her how much I'd changed. And guess what? She came wearing a tight-fitting black dress, ready for action. And when I put my hands on her huge, gravity-defying breasts, I felt my member growing larger and larger, like when I found my uncle's porn stash for the first time. And I didn't get one of those half-mast hard-ons. Hell, I didn't even get a normal boner. My dick was practically ripping a hole in my jeans. She tore off my boxers and strained her neck as her eyes moved up and down my enormous erection. From its base to its tip, her wide-eyed amazement, excitement, and even a little fear were impossible to hide. "Please, fuck me," she begged. It was like a sexual beast had awakened inside me while I fucked her. Her whole body was pulsating with pleasure as she came again and squirted all over my bed. I felt like a beast. So I passed the final test and my wife came back home happier and more satisfied than ever. That's when I knew this Tibetan mix worked better than anything else, and the whole world needed to know about it. Now I want you to pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you comes directly from the sacred Tibetan manuscript. Here's a quick explanation of everything that went into the formula. But keep in mind that it is only 100% effective when all of the ingredients are combined in these exact same ratios to achieve the best possible results against a lifeless penis, clogged arteries, and poor circulation. Without adequate preparation, the whole ritual is pretty much worthless. That's why a lot of supplements don't have any effect. And this is something that no one will tell you, because Big Pharma's interest is to keep us on the hamster wheel, not solve our problems. Now, as we saw, through the most advanced medical discoveries, all cases of erectile dysfunction have one thing in common. The blood vessels are damaged by free radicals, those tiny electric sparks that start a fire at a cellular level. Fixing this requires guiding the body through 3 key stages of healing. 1. The first stage of healing lies in repairing these blood vessels by eliminating the inflammation that free radicals have caused. This is done through a unique combination of powerful natural flavonoids discovered by Nobel Prize winner Dr. Albert Szent-Györgyi, such as chrysin, hawthorn berry, a plant-based source of flavonoids, and Cissus quadrangularis, which rejuvenate the endothelial cells and enable the release of nitric oxide, which in turn creates the necessary conditions for strong and firm erections. 2. After the first stage, you'll effectively feel how your blood flow to the penis is considerably improved, which helps maintain an erection for at least 30 minutes. This process is facilitated by the inclusion of 3 key ingredients into the recipe. The first is Tongkat Ali, which increases muscle strength, stamina, and endurance, all of which play a crucial role in your sexual drive. Then we've got nettle, a traditional plant in Tibet, planted and harvested exclusively by Tenzin, which plays a crucial role in promoting cellular growth and longevity. It boosts cellular energy, warding off cell death, which is primarily caused by inflammation in the body. And finally, Tribulus terrestris, renowned for its energy-boosting and libido-enhancing properties, which also improves blood flow, eliminating the harmful free radicals that disrupt normal sexual functions. This plant is the secret behind the vitality of many of Hollywood's top stars and is considered one of the most efficient aphrodisiacs. 3. The third and last stage consists of increasing the production of nitric oxide, which improves sensations in the penis. Since you've got greater blood flow to that region of the body, this helps you sustain an erection for longer, and you'll be riding the wave of pleasure during each sexual encounter without the worry of finishing too soon. This powerful boost in performance is fueled by the combination of 3 plants: Muera puama, horny goatweed, and saw palmetto. Muera puama is a crucial ingredient that promotes cellular growth and longevity. It supercharges your cells, halts cellular degradation caused by inflammation and free radical damage, and has a direct effect on the quantity of nitric oxide produced by the body. Horny goatweed from the lower altitude regions of Tibet, specially collected by Tenzin's disciples while precisely respecting the Tibetan tradition, is another key ingredient. Several studies have shown its beneficial effects on sexual health, including improved circulation, which is essential for robust sexual vitality. And we found that it works best when combined with saw palmetto, which is likewise rich in nutrients and known for its restorative properties. They are all instrumental in reversing degenerative processes and repairing years of damage done to the body's sexual health system. This potent combination acts as a rejuvenating powerhouse for your body, nourishing your cells, creating an environment conducive to self-repair, and stimulating the growth of new support cells. That's why the scientists named the whole process anagenesis, through which 3 essential mechanisms are reactivated: the reconstruction of penile tissue, the training of penile muscles, and the vascularization of the penis, all to have strong, thick, long-lasting erections, practically on demand. You'll notice an improvement in your overall vitality, vigor, and virility almost instantly. It feels like being 20 years old all over again. This formula is a sophisticated blend containing more than the ingredients mentioned. It has rare plants that are hard to get and that some doctors have never even heard of. After analyzing the recipe several times, together with Rich and 3 doctors from our laboratory, we decided that it's necessary to select only the purest of ingredients, some brought to us from Tibet by Tenzin himself, mix them in the exact order and method as Tenzin, and use precise amounts of each ingredient so that the final mixture has the same effect that it had on me. As you can imagine, it took another 2 months before we even got a prototype we could test out. To be honest with you, it was tough as hell. So many farmers use pesticides these days. It took many days and nights to find the ones that were honest and transparent and could supply us with what we needed. But in the end, it was all worth it. We finally had the miracle formula at our disposal, ready to be tested. We transformed it into pill form with a clean, precise dose that holds up well in heat. This way we can preserve the formula's full potency, ensuring a rapid remedy for erectile dysfunction. So the next step was to gather a list of 62 friends, colleagues, and other people we knew who suffered from various levels of ED. From truly debilitating cases, such as Mr. Ryan's, who couldn't get an erection in 15 years, to comparatively light cases like Greg's, who at 48 years old can still get hard, but struggles to maintain his erections, and asked them to discreetly put our special formula to the test. Every person accepted it immediately. They even received a form so that they could report weekly on their progress. I was prepared to wait a week or 2 until the initial reports came back. But what happened next was amazing. The participants in the study couldn't believe that just a day after first taking the treatment, they already felt better and more relaxed. And just a few more days later, they started experiencing the same results I had. So I encouraged them to stick with taking their pills and continue tracking their progress. When I went to collect the reports in a few weeks, the results were astounding. Not a single person reported ED problems anymore. Their erections lasted more than 30 minutes. All 62 men said that they'd experienced an enhancement of their sexual satisfaction that they never had before, while 59 men declared that their penises grew by an inch and that they had stronger orgasms. At that moment, we knew the entire scientific community was going to change after seeing the results of this experiment. Since not a single participant came out of the study unsatisfied with his experience, we decided to make this formula available to the public. We called it ERECPRIME because the erections you gain from using it are some of the strongest and most reliable in your life, regardless of age. Moreover, the nutrients inside are designed to get you hard almost immediately and keep you hard for at least 30 minutes during each sexual act, while also improving your libido and energy levels for several days afterwards. But remember, ERECPRIME isn't just about restoring sexual vitality. It's about eliminating the true cause of erectile dysfunction, combating free radicals and oxidative stress, and unlocking the same quantity of nitric oxide as a 20-year-old athlete's body would. Just listen to what one of the study participants told us about ERECPRIME.
I was astounded by how swiftly ERECPRIME started to take effect. Just into the second week, I felt a renewed vigor in my sexual vitality. I was once again able to engage in sexual activity after about 6 months of absence. By the third week, my performance anxiety was fading, and my confidence was skyrocketing. I was already certain that I could maintain an erection for at least 20 minutes. But that's not all. This remarkable shift brought about a massive boost in my overall mood. My bouts of depression ebbed away, and my sleep improved dramatically. I'm a changed man now, powerful and confident. Thank you.
This was a success beyond our wildest dreams, and my life gained a new purpose. I was going to get this formula into the hands of every man suffering from ED around the world at a price that would be affordable to them, regardless of Big Pharma's interest. And even if the medical industry told us to wait another year before making this product available, during which Big Pharma would have time to throw other obstacles our way, we decided that we couldn't wait another second and must introduce the only real ED treatment to the world now, as confirmed by science and more than 40,000 happy customers. A Big Pharma representative even offered us a huge amount of money, just so we wouldn't show anyone this formula. But of course, we refused immediately, which made them very angry. By now you're probably asking, how can you get your hands on ERECPRIME as quickly as possible? Well, the fact is that just getting this made was incredibly hard. Finding the right ingredients for the mix is a real challenge. We were lucky enough to be able to make a deal with a small farm in Asia to source most of our ingredients, and then Tenzin's community helps us with the herbs specific to Tibet, so that we can keep the recipe intact, which we then bottle in the US according to strict FDA rules. It takes about 6 months to produce a batch in these conditions, but we're proud of our standards and wouldn't sacrifice safety for profit any day of the week. What's more, the people who've tried our product so far already want more of it. Some don't even have ED issues, but just use it to boost their sexual stamina and endurance. No wonder our stock gets depleted so fast. And of course, Big Pharma has already started fighting back. They've threatened to sue us if we don't stop selling our product right away, because its success has already hurt their business. We've been able to hold them off so far, but there's no guarantee that they won't try more aggressive tactics going forward. But since you've stuck around with me this long, I'm going to offer you the rare opportunity to buy ERECPRIME right now, while supplies still last. But before I do that, I want to tell you exactly how you should take it to achieve maximum results. This is important. You really don't want to get it wrong. First, start by taking 2 capsules every morning for at least 30 days. A bottle of ERECPRIME contains exactly 60 capsules, so this should get you through the first month. Within a week, you'll start feeling a shift. By the end of the first month, the flavonoid power matrix in ERECPRIME will have begun working its magic, reigniting the flame in your intimate life. Remember, patience is key here. ERECPRIME is a natural solution that works in harmony with your body, unlike pharmaceuticals that often function against it. We then advise you to continue taking ERECPRIME for an additional 2 months after the first one. This equates to a total of 3 bottles of ERECPRIME. 3 months is enough time for cellular regeneration and repair to take place on a deeper level, making all improvements in your sexual vitality permanent and ensuring that your body naturally produces a large amount of nitric oxide, guaranteeing long-lasting erections. But our most remarkable feedback, however, comes from those who have completed a full 6-month course of ERECPRIME. They didn't just experience an invigorated sex life, but also noticed enhanced mental acuity and increased energy throughout the day, making for a massive improvement in their overall quality of life. Additionally, the medical tests we've run show that after 6 months, None of the people who tried this product ever experienced erection problems again. They all maintained erections for over 30 minutes on average and noticed an improvement of their circulation throughout the body. They are all safe and secure in the knowledge that they'll never disappoint their wives or girlfriends again with their flaccid penises, regardless of age. To be more specific, it's impossible to accurately measure the extent of free radical damage or assess the vascular health of your arteries without a comprehensive health examination. It depends largely on your health history, diet, and lifestyle choices. That's why, to ensure permanent results, a 6-month course of ERECPRIME is all you need. This duration should be sufficient to fully renew the arterial tissues, counteract the cellular spark storm, and ensure that the benefits of your rejuvenated sexual life are here to stay. The results from those who've undertaken the ERECPRIME journey have been nothing short of phenomenal.
Hi, my name's Daniel, and I'm 62 years old. I started having problems getting it up, and I got a prescription for Viagra, but at $10 a pill, it felt like robbery. After using this thing, I've noticed a significant increase in length and girth, and it finally eliminated my ED and prostate problems. Words can't even express how good I feel.
I love hearing stories like these. It shows that our product works for all kinds of people, regardless of age or the severity of their conditions. All of this with just 2 small capsules per day. So I can confidently state that this is by far the best solution for erectile dysfunction. Nothing else even comes close. Yes, there are always medical alternatives. You could visit a doctor, undergo high-risk procedures, or continue to rely on prescription drugs, spending a significant amount of money just to manage your symptoms. But why not consider a different approach first? An approach that could significantly improve your condition without causing discomfort or draining your bank account? As for other alternative healing methods such as herbal teas, penis pumps, scam supplements, they simply lack the strength to combat serious conditions like erectile dysfunction. With ERECPRIME, you could start seeing results from the first week. Plus, you don't have to worry about any troublesome side effects or long-term health issues. Now you understand why Rich initially urged me to sell this formula at $580 per bottle. ERECPRIME is the only supplement available on the market that addresses the root cause of erectile dysfunction, not just the symptoms. Just think about what people pay when they visit the doctor for the latest treatments and services. I told him I understood his point of view. Even at a cost of $580 per bottle, ERECPRIME would provide excellent value, but my motivation is not financial gain. If that were my goal, I would have sold the formula to the representative from the big pharma corporation who approached us, and I would be set for life. But that's not me. I understand the distress that comes from erectile dysfunction, so my primary aim is to help other people improve. That's all I've ever wanted from the very beginning. I wish I had access to something like this before the ED impacted my relationships and made my wife ask for a break. But there's no point in dwelling on the past. All I can do now is get ERECPRIME into the hands of as many men as possible while supplies last, before you consider resorting to more expensive and potentially dangerous medical procedures. Remember that there's an option for you to take immediate action right now. If it means dropping the price to the point where I'm just about breaking even, I'm all for it. That's why I'm not going to ask you to shell out $580 for this incredible solution. Instead, as a token of appreciation for your dedication to finding a solution and for watching this presentation till the end, I'm prepared to make you a one-time offer you cannot refuse. After much discussion and negotiation, Rich agreed to allow me to offer 1 bottle of our exceptional ERECPRIME for just $69 for a limited time. This makes it feasible for men grappling with erectile dysfunction and related issues to access the help they need to regain control of their lives. What's more, if you decide to opt for the full 6-month treatment plan, I'm prepared to give you a 30% discount on each bottle. That brings it down to just $49 per bottle for a total of $294. However, this offer is only available today while supplies last. Secure your supply in advance, and you can kiss your worries about erectile dysfunction goodbye. But please be warned, once we run out of stock, it could take another 5 to 6 months before we can offer a new batch. So the best thing to do is take advantage of the full 6-bottle offer. This way you'll secure all the bottles you need for the complete course of treatment. You won't find a deal as advantageous as this anywhere else. A small investment today will bring about years of benefits as you reclaim your sexual vitality and erectile function. Of course, one bottle of ERECPRIME is enough to kickstart the journey towards restored sexual vitality. 3 bottles will significantly help in reversing the cellular damage caused by free radicals, but 6 bottles will provide you with long-term protection, bolstering your overall health and fighting off conditions linked to aging. Picture yourself brimming with vitality and virility, regardless of your age. So take a good look at the offer we've prepared below this video and choose the one that makes the most sense for you. After you click the order button, you'll be taken directly to our checkout page where you'll enter your payment details and finalize your order. After that, your shipment of ERECPRIME will be delivered right to your doorstep in 7 days or less. This is your last chance to secure a full treatment of ERECPRIME before supply runs out. And don't forget, no matter what happens, you're protected by our 180-day, 100% revitalized or money-back guarantee. At ERECPRIME, we stand by our product and its potential to help you reclaim your vigor and vitality. That's why we're extending to you an ironclad 180-day guarantee that's more than just a guarantee. It's a promise. We understand that trying a new product can sometimes feel like a leap of faith. That's why we want you to have the chance to fully experience ERECPRIME without any risk. Order today and try ERECPRIME for a full 180 days. Use it, test it, and see the results for yourself. If you don't see a significant improvement in your vitality, or if you're unsatisfied with ERECPRIME for any reason at all, simply return the empty bottles to us. We won't just issue you a prompt full refund. We will buy the product back from you. That's how much we believe in ERECPRIME's potential to change your life. In essence, you're not actually buying ERECPRIME today. You're just trying it. You have a full 180 days to make your decision. If you're not thrilled with the results, it's on us. That's our promise to you. We think it's only fair that way. So you'll have the chance to witness firsthand just how transformative ERECPRIME can be. Within a few days, you'll start regaining control over your body and your confidence. Performance anxiety will dissipate as your vitality improves, and you can start living life to the fullest again. This groundbreaking transformation has already transformed the lives of 42,200 satisfied beta testers. And if you decide to change your mind or the formula isn't working as quickly as you'd anticipated, just send me an email and I'll buy it back from you. No questions asked. So click one of the buttons below and ignite your rejuvenation process today. It'll be the best decision you ever make. But don't wait too long before you act. Your sexual health is now deteriorating day by day, and there's always the risk of our inventory getting snapped up by other eager customers in the meantime. After all, we are offering this phenomenal product for just $69, even cheaper if you opt for the bundle packages. And that's exactly what people are doing, depleting our stock in record time. As a result, we may be compelled to raise the price to $179 per bottle, possibly even higher in the future as our premium ingredients become more expensive. Surprisingly, some people are still skeptical of ERECPRIME, mainly because it's too affordable. They can't believe that it could possibly do what it promises to combat erectile dysfunction at a fraction of the price of prescription drugs. And they'd be right. If we charged the same prices as Big Pharma, our product would still sell, and we'd turn a significant profit. But that's not why I got into this. My mission has always been, and will always be, to help as many men as possible. As far as I'm concerned, greedy corporate interests will always take a backseat to helping people. So take a decisive step forward and seize this opportunity without hesitation. Click the order button below, and we'll swiftly ensure that your supply of ERECPRIME capsules reaches your doorstep in a matter of days. The power to transform your life is now in your hands. You could leave this presentation, not believe a word I say, and continue living your life as before. There's comfort in hoping for an improvement without lifting a finger, but truthfully, we both know how unlikely that is. And before you consider other costly and potentially harmful medical treatments, remember that you have the option to be proactive and take action right now. Why not reclaim complete control over your penis in just a few days? Rarely do proven, natural, and effective solutions like ERECPRIME just come along. Countless hours of research and meticulous work have gone into formulating this groundbreaking solution, and you are fortunate to be among the first to discover its potential. Take the plunge and place your risk-free order today. You'll thank yourself later. Simply click below and enter your payment details. From there, we'll handle the rest, ensuring that the bottles are swiftly delivered to your doorstep within days. I think you're ready to treat your erectile dysfunction today. I can't wait to hear your success story. John Hartley. Still here? Here are some of the most frequent asked questions I get from our customers and their answers. What can you tell me about the satisfaction guarantee? That's a great question, as this guarantee is probably the best you've ever seen. It seems to be too good to be true, and a lot of people wonder how on earth we can afford to do this. Well, here's why we can afford to offer such an incredible guarantee. Because this product works like nothing else on the market. It's the quickest path to those rock-hard, on-demand erections at any age. The vast majority of our users experience such remarkable results that they can't imagine living their lives without ERECPRIME. So we're able to offer this guarantee simply because very few people take advantage of it. They want to keep taking this formula after they start, instead of getting a refund. And when people do ask for a refund, then there are no hard feelings at all. We make it easy and painless as possible for you to get your money back. So let's recap exactly what the guarantee is. From the moment you order, you'll have a full 6 months to try ERECPRIME out. It'll work for almost any man. But if you're ever not satisfied, or if it's not for you, feel free to contact our friendly customer service team, and we'll happily refund your order within 48 hours. You'll be attended to by a real person who cares about your satisfaction and is eager to help. Okay, the next question we get frequently is, how long will this offer be available for? And the short answer is that I'm unable to guarantee today's special offer beyond midnight tonight. Supplies are extremely limited and in high demand, so I reserve the right to end this special pricing at any time after midnight. After that, all bets are off. If and when supplies run out, then this page will no longer be available, and you may never see this same offer again. So if you think this breakthrough formula may be for you, then I urge you not to hesitate. Click the button below this video and take advantage of today's steep discount. I can't even guarantee there's enough supply left right now until you make it to the checkout page and lock in your discount. If you want to lock in your spot, make sure you don't wait another second. Just click the button and claim your discount. Next, you might be wondering, how do I take it? This is the easy part. It won't take more than a few seconds of your day. Remember, these ingredients contain very potent natural extracts. They are highly concentrated. That means you don't have to deal with a bunch of huge pills that are tough to swallow. Through our proprietary manufacturing process, we are able to fit an explosive amount of potency into a very small capsule. I recommend that you start by taking 2 pills per day in the morning after breakfast for the first 30 days, because 2 pills is more than enough to have a tremendous effect. So simply take it and then go about your day. No need to plan on any major lifestyle changes. No need to remember to take it hours before having sex. Just be sure you don't forget to take it every single day. The all-natural ingredients in this formula are truly revolutionary. They've been rigorously researched and tested, and you're going to love your results from taking them. They're going to help you solve any erection problems you're having for good, so you can maintain your manhood, keep your partner happy, and just feel young again. There's nothing in the world that can do all the things this formula will do for you. There's nothing else out there remotely like this. ERECPRIME is the only solution that uses this unique blend of ingredients, which makes regaining your manhood easy. It makes reclaiming your youthful confidence and swagger a walk in the park. These ingredients are the best in the world. They're clinically proven to work, and fast. This page won't be up for much longer, and I want to make sure you can still take advantage of this offer. I can't even guarantee there is stock left right now. You'll have to click the button below and go to the next page to find out. As a matter of fact, I have to leave right now, so the ball is 100% in your court. It's totally your decision, and I respect your decision either way. But I think you and I both know what the right move is. So please don't hesitate. If you want to reclaim your rock-hard erections, feel younger, and say goodbye to the shame and judgment of not being able to get it up, this is the fastest, safest, best way to get there.